Welcome back. It's time for Press Review, and joining me for that discussion is Honorable Didmus Baraza Kimilili, Member of Parliament, and nominated Senator Rose Nyamunga. Welcome to the show. Now, let's start off with the standard, and we've been told anger over Kenya power token scam, and this has to do with a story that is making headlines across board, whereby thousands of consumers are caught in a multi-billion shilling electricity theft carried out by power firm staff and are now being forced to pay. And we're having somebody who was a victim who's being quoted right here saying that the amount she had to pay was 4,400 shillings before even being able to buy tokens. No, it seems like a scam was ongoing, and the Kenya Power Acting MD Jared Otieno is being quoted to say some employees are thought to have stolen the tokens, which were properly generated and sold them, so the money never got to the company. Honorable Baraza.
It is very unfortunate, but this characterizes the nature of this country.
Yes.
Where you are told customers bought genuine tokens through by following genuine processes, yes. And then they are told to pay for what they genuinely pay, and we are not being told on the action taken on the fraudsters who did this kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
And we must learn as a country to a level where when Kenyans are exposed to a fraud that had been perpetuated by genuine employees of a company, then the firm should operate with a loss.
Yes.
There is no point of passing that one to the throat down the throat of the Kenyan people, because the Kenyan people have no wrong. They have not done any wrong. They just went to the authorized vendor. They bought the tokens.
Yes.
But then if it comes out to be that this was stolen tokens from the company,
yes,
then the company should find another way of mitigating these losses without necessarily passing the same to the customers.
Because now you are caught in between a rock and a hard place. If you don't dish out the 4,000 plus shillings, then you're staying in the dark.
And even it's a criminal offense, is a breach of contract,
yes,
for the power company not to advance tokens paid by Kenyans on the basis of having a debt that apparently was occasioned by a fraud within the system itself.
Yeah, basically thieves within the organization. Senator Nyamunga, what do you feel about this one?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because as far as the clients or the Kenyan citizens were dealing, we're dealing, as long as the community or people were dealing with you bought the token, you got it in the right way, the way you normally do it. And then it turns out to be that one of the staff members is the one who was behind this thing. I think it should not fall back to the customers. That should be totally borne by the company, and that also shows the community where we live in.
Yes.
It's now very unfortunate that you never know where you are, who you are dealing with, whether it is genuine or not. Even if you look at the fraud that is going on in the banks, normally there must be insiders. Even in families, if somebody comes and attacks you, it must be an insider. It cannot come from outside. So, in my belief, I don't think that the customer should be made to pay twice, because it was not their fault, and they knew that they were doing the normal and the usual way of doing business. So it's unfortunate that that's where we find ourselves as a nation.
And what does it say about our state agencies across board? I mean,
we've seen a lot of this, be it the Kenya Power, Kenya Pipeline. You see that the people who are stealing the oil from the pipeline, they're the ones who laid it. They're the ones who know where the pipeline, followed, where it fell. So if it is filtration into the system, it is the corporations that don't think they're doing their best, and it is everywhere. I don't think now anybody can take a stone and throw at anybody, because every sector of this nation, from the top to the bottom, is rotten. And it's unfortunate that we don't know who to deal with. We don't know when something is genuine. Even if somebody tells you this jacket is blue, you don't know whether it is blue or it is black. It's bad.
That's the level at which we are. And just to what you said, there's also another headline right here that says Haji approves tax evasion charges against KRA staff. Now, this is another scandal that we've had, and we're being told that the DPP, however, directs investigators to tighten evidence and add more documentary proof that before arraigning the 69 suspects, because a lot of the times we find that most of the people who are caught up in corruption scandals go scot-free because of a lack of evidence at the end of the day. I want you to just...
Yeah, I know legally any case before any court must be supported by credible evidence.
Yeah.
But Kenyans have perfected the game, because we all know when Commissioner Waweru was in charge of tax collection, we were doing excesses. Right. What is it that Waweru was doing that Njeraini or any other person cannot do? It means that we have the system itself has been manipulated, and the system has fallen and is part of the system.
Right.
If it was found, and there was a time they were doing the audit on the lifestyle, I don't know where it ended. You know, most of the time we spend time, we tell the nation that we are taking this direction in order to fight the corruption. And there was a time that there was an audit of lifestyle of senior, almost every member of the nation or the senior citizens, and even in Kenya Revenue Authority, it was there.
Yes.
I don't know where it ended, but at least 69 people were identified, and I think they are not even in the offices. They must be suspended while the investigations are taking place. But every type of corruption must come from within. So we must clean our system. We must deal with ourselves.
Yeah.
And I've always said that corruption is an issue that should be taken to the primary school, to the baby class.
How
so that we teach them. We teach them that it is bad. That we cannot, because it has now filtrated the whole country. There is no place that you can say here, at least here, even in the churches, everywhere. So it is one thing that we must inculcate in our children, so that they know that it is very expensive to get involved in corruption as we move forward. But just targeting a few people, like 69 people, and you want to fight tax evasion. Everybody wants to evade tax.
Absolutely.
And also tax has been made very expensive. That's why I think most people are trying to. And then the second thing that we look at is, you pay tax, but where does it go? Is it going for the nation? Is it going for our services?
Yeah.
So those are the issues that even make more people evade tax.
Yeah, and also turn it into a culture, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to survive the harsh economic times. Honorable Baraza, what do you feel about this one?
I think this is a clear explanation of how our legal system is wanting, specifically the prosecution side.
Yeah.
You cannot claim that so-and-so is facing this type of allegations unless you have credible evidence that is able to stand the time in the courts.
Yeah.
These people are suspended. But then you are told that the DPP requested for more files, for more evidence to be supported.
Yeah.
And by the time these people are being interdicted, you must have at least enough evidence that this person has committed this offense.
Right.
Because I don't think that from the time we learned from the media that these people had been interdicted for, tax colluding to assist business people in evading tax. And up to now is almost a month.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that you take 1 month to investigate whether a person is culpable or not. Then it means that maybe Nurdin Haji is on a fishing expedition for evidence to support. And I think if there are people who need thorough training in terms of investigations, then there are our investigating agencies.
Yeah.
Because you find out if the law presumes someone innocent until proved guilty, then we should see little of the pronouncement that so-and-so is a participant in aiding people to evade the tax, into that we are investigating, just a statement saying we are investigating some stuffs within KRA on such and such matters. But now, you know, this is not good for this country.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we cannot prosecute people on the basis of rumors, on the basis of fake intelligence information that cannot be supported.
Yeah, and also just to add a bit on that, I think the investigators are chewing too much because they touch here, they've arrested so and so, they put them in so and so. So they are arresting so many people and leaving all these cases hanging. But Kenyans only want one to be concluded so that we know there is, I mean, there is the seriousness and the system is working and there is there's commitment. But the way we are doing it, touching every corner and bringing everybody, I mean, arresting everybody and then releasing them on bond. Then after that, what happens?
But then also we have a serious breach of our constitution.
Yes.
When Kenyans voted for this constitution, they separated powers between the DCI and the DPP so that the two offices can operate independently, because at the end of the day, what Kenyans are looking for is fair justice for both parties. But when you hear that DPP and DCI, they are doing investigations together, they have gone on a trip in Italy together for particular investigations, it negates the very principle of separation of power. Because what DPP is supposed to do is to approve prosecution for, when files are sent to him from DCI.
Right.
But if he participated in evidence gathering, then how will he review the files?
Yes.
The DCI will tell him we investigated together. So I think it is very clear that the so-called multi-agency is unconstitutional. And because Kenyans were clear in their minds when they said that the office of the Attorney General should be independent from the office of the DCI, from the office of the DPP. But when they begin doing meetings together, they are doing strategizing on how to prosecute someone together, then it's against, it will lack credibility.
Yes, and we are being told right here that there was occurrence, with the multi-agency team, concurrence with the multi-agency team to charge the suspects before the 18th of July with various offenses. However, the ODTP did raise pertinent issues that need to be dealt with before they make it all the way to the courts, because it might just be thrown out on the basis of, lack of evidence. Now, another story, just still with the courts, we have Intumbi set free amid DPP Haji's protests. Now, we're having the DPP making headlines across the standard, at least 3 or 4 headlines that it has to do with all these cases. Now, with this one, the Nairobi court yesterday dismissed requests by the state to hold Dennis Intumbi for 9 more days, because the DPP had actually requested that they needed 9 more days to conduct the further investigations. I want to know what you feel about it, Honorable Baraza.
I think this is a demonstration of incompetence.
Really?
From the side of the DPP. Because what was coming up yesterday was Intumbi to take plea in terms of the DPP making it clear that this person is facing this type of charges. I don't think that you need 3 days or even 4 days or 5 days to decide which charges the accused person should face. It was not a hearing. It was just a plea taking where you make it very clear that this person is either to plead innocent, to plead guilty or not guilty on the particular charges facing him. Thereafter, you can go ahead and compile your evidence. But then this shows that DPP the DCI was just ambushed to arrest Intumbi without proper evidence and being clear in terms of what charges Intumbi was to face. You cannot claim that the law, when the law says that someone has to appear before court within 24 hours, then it means that by the time you are arresting the suspect, you are sure that he has committed this offense, and you have preliminary investigations report that are tangible, that can be able to support such charges before any court of law. And I think I want to applaud the judiciary, the courts, because the courts should not be used as a way of mitigating incompetency on the side of prosecution. The court should be able to administer justice in both parties.
Yeah, in a fair manner. Now, we are being told that Itumbi was released on a cash bail of 100,000 shillings, and of course it was on condition that he does not go online and talk about the details of this case. And of course, just some, this story has made headlines since I think 2 weeks ago, and it has us all shocked, and we were wondering whether it's mischief or whether it's factual and what is going on right here, because nothing has come out really clearly about it. Now, Senator, what do you feel about this one?
Now, even if you look at Itumbi's picture, if you look at the way he's holding his hands and very, very happy about what is going on, I think it's telling us that in his, let me just for a minute imagine that I'm Mr. Itumbi. That after all, it's like you're taking me nowhere. You do not even have any evidence to pin me down on anything. He looks very triumphant. Just look at him, and just look at the picture. The picture tells us a lot. And in my view, the last time the prosecutors were really blaming the courts, that the courts are the ones letting Kenyans down on the fight against corruption. But the way it is now, I don't think it is the courts anymore. The courts have been very prompt in doing the things. But as a lawyer or anybody with a background of law knows, and anybody, even if you go to the village, there must be evidence. But even before you come to arrest an individual, you must have reasons. Why did you arrest so-and-so and not so-and-so? So there must be some very good evidence leading you to this particular person.
Absolutely.
But from what I can see, I think that the fight against corruption is like getting nowhere. If we have to go by what we are seeing and what we are reading, I think the prosecutor himself and and this CI, they are up to something else that Kenyans don't know. Because the way they are doing things, they are friends. They are friends who are working together, and they know much more than Kenyans know, but they are not telling us. From their behavior, they know much more, maybe from hearsay, but they don't know it factually. And we are, as Kenyans, are waiting upon them, and we are waiting for nothing.
Now, still on crime, let's move to page 3. A woman, husband, and 2 children found dead in a house, and this is suspected to have been the woman, the 32-year-old woman, suspected to have killed her husband, and at the same time the 2 kids. And of course, it's pretty sad. But then there's another one that's being mirrored on the Standard, and we're being told puzzle of 4 murders and double suicide. Former Isuha Central MCA Richard Muchesia lived a flashy life and distinguished himself from his former colleagues by driving top of the range cars. So they're just describing his life, but then of course the demise was quite unfortunate. What do you feel about this sort of trend that's happening on both papers?
It is completely shocking. But then this is not the first time Kenyans are experiencing such kind of deaths in unclear circumstances. But even if you look at the previous cases, it's always good for the police to carry out a proper investigation and come up with the reasons that led to the deaths, and also so that now other arms of government can take it upon them to mitigate, so that we do not want to have a repeat of the things that we were experiencing today now.
Every now and then.
And I think most of these deaths are to do with stress, mental health, which has become serious in this country. And I think we are reaching a level where we should declare mental health a national disaster, so that the government can focus more into addressing these issues of mental health. It should be made mandatory that people should go for medical checkups, mental checkups quite oftenly, so that we are able to arrest this kind of scenario. And we should also invest in hiring psychiatrists all over.
And
every sub-county should have a psychiatrist that should be able to investigate these matters and assist the growing population. It's something that we cannot play the proverbial elephant, the ostrich play of burying our head in the sand. And this matter is continuing make people lose lives on very unclear circumstances.
Yeah, it has to do with mental health, some of the economic problems that we are having. Because if I can read an excerpt from The Nation, we're being told that Mr. Muchesia is said to have spent his fortune and in the last campaigns, hoping he would clinch this parliamentary seat, but his plans backfired badly, plunging him into financial crisis. Senator, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, this debate was in the Senate, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, the issue of mental health of Kenyans.
Yes.
And you cannot only think that people who are actually mad and walking in the street or those are the people who are sick. I think we are, as a nation, we are sick in different ways. And we must seek solutions to our problems. And just as the way we want to deal with corruption is the same way we should deal with values as a nation. Because most of us live a lie.
Yeah.
Now look at this MCA. He was an MCA. He had a lot of money, flashy cars. Where did he get that money from? As an MCA, we know the salaries of the allowances of MCAs. So now these are some of the things that we are talking about. The level of corruption. Because if he was an MCA, he must have been part and parcel of this loot that is going on in the counties.
Yeah.
I've seen 14 billion has been the 14 billion Kenya shillings being used in travel. What is that? that is the MCS alone, or is it the MCS alone, or but it is from the counties. So it can't be MCS, it must be the governors and everybody. It's 14 billion.
Yes.
14 billion is a lot of money.
It is a lot
Somebody
of money.
was calculating that if you are given 1 billion, you will spend it luxuriously for 73 years. So the time you reach 70, you've already retired. So looking at the homicides that we are seeing and people committing suicide, killing their families and then killing themselves. It is it's also the sickness of the mind. So again, back to the basics. We must find ourselves. We must find when the rain started beating us. And that, to me, we're going back to values.
Yes.
Yeah, as individuals, as children, as a nation.
And the church.
Kenyans live a lie. We want to tell everybody that I have. Yet you know that money you have is not yours. You know where you got it from. And you know so many people who are suffering because you are spending that money wrongly. So it's not only a matter of psychiatric thing. You know, even me right now, I can think I'm very fine and I don't need a doctor or a psychiatrist. But looking at a few things in me, I know I also have my struggles and a lot of issues. So I don't know what can heal us as a nation. I think we have beat the church. We've gone to the church and we found even church, everything is happening. Much as I know, there are still very good churches. But corruption and lifestyle and all these things, we need to go back to the basics to identify and to find out where is it that we went wrong and how do we want to correct it. And it has to be a concerted effort by each and everybody.
Absolutely. And of course, we need to be more educated on depression and such issues, and of course, gender-based violence, because one of the victims was complaining, the man in the relationship, of being battered by the wife, and of course, maybe some interventions locally before even go into the hospital issues. And the story that you're talking about is on page 5. The counties of the Standard. Counties spent 14 billion in trips, and we're being told that governors and ward reps spent 14.88 billion on domestic and foreign travel between July last year and March 2019. Pretty scandalous right there. It's been given a small, it's been given 6 months. It's been given a small section of the paper, but clearly the numbers, the figures point to a very, very big problem. But that wraps up our segment of press review. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more discussions here on Morning Express.
This is KTN News.
Win 25 million with Lotto Jojo. Draw every day at 9 p.m. Send 50 bob to pay bill 298899. Account Jojo. Usibahatishe. Get paid instantly. Play now. Usibahatishe. Cheza na SportPesa. Cheza na SportPesa.
Price is what you pay, but value is what you get right here at KTN Business Today.
On Business Today, we bring you the stories from every corner of the world.
Well, the official commissioning of Line 5 here at the Nairobi depot for Kenya Pipeline.
Well, I joined VAT after having worked in the pharmaceutical industry for a couple of years.
No matter where it is, we'll make sure it comes to you. From large corporations to the stories of SMEs, microfinance and beyond. You've got it all on Business Today.
I'm Noah Kipkemboy,
Tobias Chanji,
Julie Wamboy,
Abi Agina.
For Business Today, I'm Malika Kazia.
My name is Lawrence Muraya. I'm from Washington, D.C. via Nakuru County. I'm the CEO and founder of the Africa Welfare Association. The association came about because of the need of repatriation. As long as you're in the diaspora and from Africa, you can become a member. After graduating, the first thing I did was to write an application letter to a safari team that I'd been watching. Within 2 days, I had the job. I manage Jonathan Toritich with his able car driver, the late Ibrahim Choge. We won championship. We did things that till today have not been done.
Usibahatishe. Get paid instantly. Play now. Usibahatishe. Cheza na SportPesa. Cheza na SportPesa.
This is KTN News.